Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome now to Season 3 of the Adrenaline Racing Community GR3 Championship Series. My name is Lateral G and I'm joined with...
My Savoy
and ARC Ruby.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we have Ruby with us for Season 3. It should be an exciting season this year. We have a brand new cast of characters here for our racing, a brand new roster of cars. Should be excellent. We're here starting in Japan for our first race, and it should be actually quite exciting. Ruby, you have a bit more experience than us racing here on this track. Would you mind telling us a bit, maybe, with your experiences on it here?
Well, it's actually a little longer track than usual. It's I think it's 2 minutes and 15 seconds, so it's quite long. There are some challenging corners, so that also makes it very interesting. Plus, the car picks, the different picks of cars this season. It's going to be interesting to see how they are going to work out on this track, because it's quite a general track, let's say. It has some straights, has corners, so you will need a little bit of both to be good here.
Well, speaking of the track and difficulty, we do have a video of another track guide made up by our very own Savoy, so we'll jump to that right now as we wait for qualifying to get underway.
Season 3, the ARC drivers will be racing at Kyoto Driving Park for the first round of the championship. Both Yawagia and Miyabi is the circuit layouts that we're going to be racing on. 4.25 miles long, 20 turns in all. It's a very fast racetrack filled with hairpins and a corner that could quite easily trick you out. But more importantly, you've got to preserve that right front tyre. So this is a hot lap around this 4.25 mile track with me, my Savoy, in the Porsche 911. I only know how to drive that car since I did drive it in Season 1. Across the start finish line we go, getting ourselves ready for turn 1. This long left hand turn, this right front tyre is going to be killing around this racetrack. Then out of first turn into fourth gear, and now getting ready for turns 2 to 5, the Hebai curves. It reminds me of Maggots and Beckett's, like the track at Silverstone. Absolutely sensational part of the track, flat out through turns 2 to 5. Now you want to get yourself onto the right hand side of the track for turn 6, Samurai. Preferably take a wide entry in for a better exit of the turn. I didn't do that too perfectly there. You're going to leave yourself in fourth gear, and now this is where the first of the penalty bounce is, turn 7 right here. That's where the penalty bounce ends, down the hill, brake hard, into second gear, sometimes first, and now we're going into the Miyabi part of the track. Turn 8 is right here, first gear. You go up to second, back down to first for turn 9. This is the whiplash section of the Miyabi circuit. Then back on the power we go into third, possibly into fourth for turns 10 and 11. It's a fast chicane, clip over the curb for turn 11, and now get yourself back again to the right hand side for the last of this long left hand is turn 12, Ronan, third gear. This is also on the exit where you can touch fourth gear on the exit of turn 12. Now you're going to be entering into the second part of the penalty bounce, this little short straightaway here, turns 13, 14 and 15, and then you're going to be back onto the Yawagira part of the track. The first gear may take second gear. This one is a bit of a longer hairpin as expected because it's actually 2 turns 13, 14. This is turn 15 right here. It's called the Fujiwara Complex. Now we're going into turn 16 and then back down into first gear for turn 17, Okami. A great place to overtake a driver when they're not particularly looking there. And now back on the power we go into fourth gear for turns 18 and 19, Shinigami. I want to be braking in the middle of the corner. I get a massive oversteer moment for turn 19. That's the corner that will easily trick you out. It's very easy to pick up momentum or make yourself go wide in that corner. And this is the final turn at turn 20, second gear. May go first if you've got worn tyres. Use all the racetrack on the end there, crossing the line again. This is also the last of the penalty bounce, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is a lap around Kyoto.
Alright, now we are here, qualifying underway for Tier A. We see the drivers just rounding out their outlap here to start their first flying lap, and Art Lemmy, our Season 2 champion, will be first across the line as he now heads into Turn 1 in his new Jaguar for Season 3. Followed across the line by PKMZ in the Porsche 911, GR3 Contrail also in the Jaguar. Slightly different liveries for those two cars. Alex Rogers this year in the Volkswagen Beetle, but it looks like there is a little bit of damage on the front of that Beetle. So maybe a slight mistake in his outlap might have cost him a little bit. You have Hideki-san actually going side by side with Arc Chili there as they head towards the heavy curves. Gets the better of him with Chili in his Citroen. An unusual car, but it's welcome to see here in the ARC Championship Series. With Kobu GT in his favorite car, the Nissan GTR. He's squirrely there as he goes through the heavy curves, though. You have Kev Meister and the Aston Martin V12. Willie Wug in the Toyota Supra. Jake Dan Harry also in the Toyota Supra. We have Thomas TT in the Lexus RCF. I'm Not Beckham in the Mercedes AMG. Arc Dan's in the Ford Mustang, and you can see him there just trying to burn fuel, make that car as light as he can. We have the Stig here also in the GTR, but again, on a slightly different livery. Looks like he's got a Persona 5 livery as compared to Kobu's Hatsune Miku livery. And then we finally, rounding out the back of our Tier A grid, we have Arc Tay also in the Citroen GT. So once again, for those of you who might not be familiar with the qualifying layout for this season, we do have 3 different lobbies for qualifying. However, we're not necessarily running a tier system for this year. Everyone can qualify for Tier A as long as they are fast enough. The same goes for Tier B and C. This is just the Tier A lobby, with Lemmy currently leading the way. We have Ruby watching Lobby B, so we'll get some updates on times in that qualifying session when that gets started. And then we also have Savoy watching Lobby C, so we'll get an update times from there. Just Lemmy here as he crosses the last corner for his first time lap. We'll see if he gets a good lap going here. Out of that last haircut, uses all the curbs to carry as much speed as he can. Actually, no, he's going to dive right into the pit, so he's going to abort that lap instead of finishing it. Games you across the line with a 2:17.2, not the best lap. Contrail will follow Lemmy into the pit lane instead of setting a time. Same with Alex Rogers. Everyone actually immediately pitting for a new set of softs. Ruby, you have a bit of experience here in Tier A. What's the benefit for immediately going for a pit stop on a new set of softs?
Well, I reckon they just want to empty their tank as fast as possible and then just get on fresh rubber, because it's the tire wear is pretty high this season. So I guess they have a better chance at putting another lap in. Yeah, with a little less fuel, let's say, and better tires. So I think that's the aim.
Well, currently, after that round of pit stops and most of the cars crossing the finish line, currently Thomas TT on provisional pole right now with a 2:15.6, followed by Jake Dan Harry with a 2:15.79. Beckham in third with a 2:16.2. Kobu GT in fourth with a 2:16.3. Willie Wug in fifth with another 2:16.3, 6/1000ths of a second slower than Kobu GT. We have Kev Meister in sixth with a 2:16.6. The Stig in seventh with a 2:16.8. PKMZ in 8th with a 2:17.2, and then the back of the grid yet to set a lap. Arc Tay just set his lap with a 2:17.4, and then the rest of the grid still yet to set a lap.
Telling you guys, keep an eye out on Thomas Mr. TT today. I've heard he got a lot of practice in, so he might even challenge for a podium today.
Well, another thing to note, I know last season he was unfavorable of the 911, he wasn't comfortable in it. This season, he is in the Lexus RCF, the car that has won 2 of the Constructors' Championships so far.
Exactly.
And 2 of the Drivers' Championships too.
And 2 of the Drivers'
That is true. So Thomas Mr. TT struggled last year, but this year he might be on point to take it all. Possibly a dark horse for this championship.
Definitely. He also changed to the wheel this season, so that was a big difference compared to last season. He was on the D-pad smashing his X button. And this season, yeah, he will be on the brand new spaghetti pedals.
He's a Judas to the pad user, is this Thomas?
Well, newcomer to ARC and ARC overall, not just season or GR3 season. Jake Dan Harry currently sitting in second place in his Toyota Supra. Have either of you had any experience racing with Jake Dan Harry up to this point?
Nope, absolutely none.
I think I've raced him once in, I think it was like Friday Night Series or something. I managed to beat him, but he's quite fast. He's definitely Tier A worthy, I would say. But yeah, it will be interesting to see what he can do. Obviously, since it's the first time he races with us this season.
It definitely will be. One thing, as I mentioned earlier, not everyone here qualifying in this lobby will be in the Tier A race. If they don't get a good enough lap in, they could fall back to that Tier B race, or possibly even Tier C, as we see Jake and Harry exit the pits that are almost colliding with Kevmeister in turn 1 here. So that will be one thing to watch out for. Every driver knows that they could lose it. It's up to them to try and hold the position. Still Thomas TT, still provisional pole. But a lot of fuel burning here going on here at Kyoto Driving Park. See Thomas doing it, Jake Dan Harry doing it, Beckham, I think he's doing it, Kobu's doing it. Everyone is fuel burning here.
I think this is just the risk, just to stay in TNA, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a thing. Setting a lap on the lowest amount of fuel is the fastest in essence, so everybody's going to try and burn as much fuel as possible. Thing is, if everybody's going to be doing that, we must make sure that they don't impede other drivers whilst doing it, so we have to keep an eye out on people, getting hindered by it.
Well, let's try and get an update on possibly Lobby B. Ruben, how's qualifying going so far for you?
Well, we are 6 minutes in lateral, and at this moment we have Chrome Magner sitting in first with a 2:16.1. He's closely followed by ARC Mermaid, Laud 2:26, and ARC Maddie. So it's going to be very tight to cross that gap to Tier A, to Lobby A.
Yeah, I have to point out, just looking at even around midfield of, like right now, Kobu GT is currently sitting 5th with a 2:16.3. So those times in Lobby B are actually quite competitive. It could put them in the top 5 as on the current standings. How about you, Savoy? Any update on Lobby C?
Well, they've just started qualifying. They've got about 9 minutes left. And so far, Techno Guy in the Beetle is set the fastest time of a 2:17.503, a quarter of a second faster than Turbo 919 crew in the Mercedes, and he's like half a second quicker than Eternicus, Thomas's teammate in the Lexus. I don't think they're going to be challenging for Group A, but I think certainly Techno Guy could challenge to be in Group B for the season opener.
Definitely. I see a lot of 2:18s here. Well, there's still some time left, so that will drop anyway. But and the time he has now, we will definitely qualify for Lobby B.
Well, I'm just giving you a notification here with, is it 10-minute qualifying? Excuse me?
15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Oh. Interesting that Dan says 10 minutes left after 10 minutes have already passed for qualifying. Should I, Ruby, do you think I should correct them on that?
Yeah. Maybe you should ask. Maybe I can ask him. The chat.
That would be very nice so we don't get a little bit of a mix-up here with qualifying times. And as we see here out on the screen, Alex Rogers currently are now provisional pole sitter with a 2:15.3. He's actually quite fast in that Beetle. One would say that he moved from a Porsche 911 to an even fatter Porsche 911. Based on the constant jokes of Volkswagen Beetles being secret Porsche 911s or 911s being Beetles. But you have a lot of experience driving this car, Ruby. What do you think about Alex being in the Beetle for the season?
Well, first of all, I want to say that I feel hurt when you guys make jokes about my precious Beetle, okay? Secondly, I think, well, I'd love to drive that car. It's such a stable car, but I definitely think that, Alex can go way faster than me because he really loves that MR kind of feeling, and the Beetle is really planted on the rear wheels, so he'll love to drive that on this track. It's fast flowing and all, so I expect him to do well, actually.
Yeah, he's been very quick. I did see him in practice, and I think he did a 2:15.1. He can challenge for the 2:14s here. But it's a good day for the Beatles so far, because going back, Techno Guy is still fastest in Group C. So good day all round for the Beatles so far.
Well,
you know, I'll let you go. I was just going to say that it'd be some good points for the Team 2 here in the Constructors' Championship if they were to get mostly in Tier A and Tier B.
Yeah, you know what I'll be rooting for this season. It's going to be the Beetle.
No biased commentary here, ladies and gentlemen.
Not at all.
Well, let's go over our current provisional grid with 12 minutes and almost 13 minutes off of the clock now. Alex Rogers currently in pole position, followed by Thomas TT, Jake Dan Harry in third, Ark Lemmy in fourth after now setting a lap. Ark Dan's in fifth in his Ford Mustang. I'm Not Beckham in sixth, Kobu GT in seventh, Willie Wug in eighth, ERA Contrail in ninth, Ark Chile in 10th, Hideki Sama the Brazilian in 11th, Ark Kevmeister in 12th, ERA Stig in 13th, PKMZ in 14th, and Ark Tay in 15th. Any update on Lobby B's times right now, Ruben?
Well, the fastest time is still the same at the moment. There are 5 minutes to go as we speak. The interesting thing is Defiant 195. He managed to climb up to third position in that Mustang. So that's very good for him, but the positions are unchanged as at the moment except for Defiant.
How about Lobby C, Sabloy?
No change as it is. I'm still looking at the post of the technical guy. He's just going for his second run, and he is purple in the first sector, and he's lost time in the second sector, but still no change as it is. It's still technical guy, turbo, and a turner because you're top three.
Alright, we got 14 minutes here, and I don't think we've had any clarification on how long qualifying is yet, have we,
No,
Ruby?
yeah, he said to me, yes, he confirmed that it's 15 minutes of quali, so we might just have made a mistake whilst driving on something, I don't know.
We'll give them an update here.
It's a very good idea.
This is the last minute. So we will see who manages to start a lap here. I'm sure there'll be some unhappy driver seeing that there was 10 minutes left when there was 10 minutes had passed. Let's see here. Coming up to the line as 7 seconds left. Alex Rogers still on pole. Thomas TT in second. Looked like there might have been a slight change for some times there, but I'm not quite sure as we get to 15 minutes now. So I will make the call. Qualifying is now over, so Jake Dan Harry will not be able to start another lap. So the
Someone
last
made a little, sorry there, Lato. Someone made a little spin approaching into the final turn. So they must have made a mistake at Shinigami. It was Havoc in the Toyota Supra. He spun off, must have been just after the Shinigami, turn 19 that is. Oh, and someone else has gone wide there too. I'd expect turn 19 to be a bit of a problem for some of these drivers lower down.
Well, one thing I want to point out here in Lobby A is that Steg was the last driver to actually cross the line to start a flying lap, and he's purple in the first 2 sectors here in his Nissan GTR. He's currently sitting in 12th place, so he has an opportunity to improve. Based on his currently fast lap at 2:16.8, that would put him back down to tier Lobby B, but he's even purple now in the 3rd sector. He's still up by a 10th. Actually, his teammate, Kobu GT in the Nissan GTR, also just bopped away provisional pole from Alex Rogers. So there could be 2 Nissan GTRs, 1 and 2.
Gensolino's, sorry again, in the Group C, Gensolino's gone for
Oh, but he goes wide at the exit of turn 12, but he's still up by 7 tenths, so he can still improve his time and manages to stay in Tier A.
What's the fastest time in Group B?
Fastest time in Group B is 2:16.145.
So Stick's got to beat that to stay in tier for Group A.
Yes, that's the cutoff.
So Steg rounding the corner known as Okami now. We'll see the split as he crosses. He won't be purple this time by, but he's still slightly blue, but he lost roughly almost 8 tenths in that last sector, so that's going to cost him here, but he has a couple more corners to try and make it up, to try and stay in that Tier A. Alex Rogers actually managed to take back pole position. Now looking back at the leaderboard, we'll have a look at the times here. Steg will be the last driver to cross the line. A little squirrely on the exit of the last corner. We'll see what happens here.
Got 1 minute to go in Group C.
Across the line.
Bad news. Crow Magner said a faster time. He said a 2:15.619.
Well, we will look here at the time, the live timing charts here to have a look. We have Alex Rogers, what seems to be on pole position with a 2:14.8. We'll take away pole position from Kobu GT with a 2:15.2. Beckham in third and 2:15.4. Lemmy in fourth, 2:15.5. Thomas TT fifth, 2:15.6. Jake Denharry sixth, 2:15.7. Hideki Sama seventh, 2:15.8. Willie Wug in eighth, 2:15.8 as well. Our Kevmeister 2:15.8. Our Chili 2:15.8. Ire
How
Contra.
close that is.
Ire Contra with a 2:16 flat. And I believe, yes, we would have Arc Dans in 11th with a 2:16.1. PKMZ would be in 13th at 2:16.2. Stig in 14th with a 2:16.3. And Arc Tay rounding out the back of the Lobby A with a 2:17 flat.
Oh! Okay, interesting developments just happened in the Group C. Pierre in the Porsche has just gone faster than Techno Guy, 2:17.445. Qualifying's just ended in Group C here.
Has qualifying ended in Group B, Ruby?
Yeah, qualifying is over. We're just waiting for everybody to finish their final lap. Interesting is that ARC Maddie is 10th at the moment with a time of, let me check, 2:17.8. Is he going to improve? He is not. Law 226 is the final one to finish, so I'm just going to wait for him to cross the finish line, and then I'll give you an update about it.
All right.
More times coming up here. Kiyo's gone up to 7th. Ford Terminator, not in the Ford. He's 8th quickest. Flat Out Forever, 9th. Havoc, who spun at Shimigami. He's 10th. Percy in 11th. Pingo Phone in 12th. Singed 13th, and not DPU was last. Nearly 5 seconds off Pierre's fastest lap.
So Law is crossing the finish line as we speak, and he did not improve. So the pole sitter at Lobby B is Crow Magner at the moment with 2:15.619.
2:15.6?
Yes.
That would
Straight into
that is in tier A. That is what 16.6, 15.6 point. I'm trying to see the times here in comparison. So currently that would put him around 4th or 5th place in Lobby A.
With a broken foot? Are you kidding?
It's that GTR, man. It's really fast.
That it is. As you mentioned, Kobu GT was second, and Stig did sit several purple sectors. So the GTR might be the card to beat here in Kyoto. Can you give us a rundown on the rest of Lobby B here so we can try to figure this out?
Sure. So as I said, Crow Magner is first, 2:15.6. Following is ARC Mermaid with a 2:16.198.
16.1 would put him roughly 11th or 12th in Lobby A.
And then we have Thunderpick with a 2:16.449.
449. That would put him 14th in Lobby A.
Yeah, and then the first following is Jans and the Beetle with a 2:16.7. So I guess I would drop him out of Tier A.
So we have roughly 3 drivers from Lobby B moving up to Tier A.
Good showing.
With Crow Magner actually putting on quite a show, roughly 5th to 6th place. That's quite an improvement from what we've seen from him, especially in those mid-seasons that we've had in Super Formula and the MTC Cup. That's quite an improvement for Crow Magner.
That's a significant improvement for Crow, and good on him too.
Well, as we just wait to get underway for the race to start here, as we sort out all the times, the 5-minute break in between races, let's get some predictions out of the way. We like to do this for our big seasons here. Honestly, I would have to say my prediction to win the race A, or excuse me, yes, race A would work in this situation. Lobby A, Tier A, whatever you want to use. It's going to be close between Alex Rogers and Kobu GT. Alex Rogers did manage to build that gap of, it says here, 0.384 for pole position. So Alex Rogers is quick, but whether the power of the GTR, especially off the line, might help Kobu GT to hold that position, it's going to be hard to say. Especially Beckham in that 3rd place, we just know how good that Mercedes is at launching off of the line. So taking the lead into turn 1 is going to be really close and hard to call, but if I had to call an overall winner, I'm going to have to say Alex Rogers.
I think I would say so too. I think that break has done him a world of good, hasn't it?
I think it has. He only raced the one race in the McGain Trophy Cup, and he's been doing some other stuff on the side. So taking that break, taking some time to himself, I think is probably going to help him this season. We saw how many mistakes he was making in season 2, and that cost him a lot of the time. So hopefully, if he took that break, got himself in a good mental state, that should help him for this season. What do you think, Ruby? Who do you think might take away the win today in Lobby A?
Yeah, that's tough to say. I think Alex Rogers has a big chance of winning if he doesn't make those characteristic mistakes he made in season 2. So hopefully that Sabbath did him well. But also Kobo is so fast in that GTR. It's insane. It's insane. But I'm rooting for Thomas actually. I'm really hoping he can. He can be like the third dog who goes with the bone, as they say. So.
Well, he would be starting in roughly 5th or 6th place based on the times, and that RCF is a great all-around car, but I believe the gap to the leader, based on his time, is almost a second. So he would have his work cut out for him if he was to take away the win today, but he's definitely in better form than he was last season. Any surprises you guys found maybe with some times? For me, I see Jake Dan Harry and Hideki Sama both in the top 10, newcomers to ARC, if you want to throw Willy Wug in there, but we have raced with him and against him in the past in the team versus team series that we do. So, do you feel like that's a bit surprising? The North American Jake Dan Harry up there in the top 10, almost top 5?
Well, he deserved to be there on merit. He made tier A in the time trial, so like I said, he deserves there to be on merit. I did mention about Willy Wug last week in the car lottery. He could be another dark horse. What was the other one that you said?
Hideki Sama.
Hideki Sama. I don't know that much well of Hideki Sama, only that we seen him last week in the support race, and he did very well. Does it surprise me? You know, possibly. But I mean, that's qualifying. How are they going to How are they going to do in the race? That's the important thing. That's 50% of that done. The other 50% is how they're going to cope in that race.
Mm-hmm. Setting one fast lap is one thing, but doing it for the entire race, getting your tire strategy right, especially with the new rules this season that you have to run at least 2 compounds, that's going to throw a wrench into some people's plans. It's definitely going to be interesting. One thing I want to highlight is PKMZ in the 911. A strong driver and what would be a strong car, it only managed to put a 16.2 on time. That might put him at the back of Tier A for lobby, or Tier A, if not put him back into Lobby B. That's a little uncharacteristic of him.
That, to me, would also be the first time that he's not raced in Group A, because he's not missed the Group A race at all in the first 2 seasons. So that could be a bit of not a good confidence for PK.
It is a little uncharacteristic, especially after watching Alex Rogers in Season 2 and you in Season 1 with Alex Rogers in Season 1 and the first half of the season, your other teammate, I'm forgetting his name now, I don't know why. If he's in the chat,
Thanks, Obama.
Yes, that would be him. Yes, G thanks Obama. We're accustomed to seeing the 911 towards the front of the grid, and now we might have a Lobby A or a Tier A without the 911 in it. It's a little shocking to me.
I mean, I don't know what really to say about the Porsche. I mean, yeah, it's very good on the brakes. It's just horrible on the starts, and I really don't know. I'm lost for words there, Lato. I just am.
How about you, Ruby? How do you feel about the 911 possibly not being in Tier A?
Oof, that would be actually, yeah, that would be harsh because the Porsche is known as a meta car, as they say. So that would be very harsh for the Porsche itself. I think it will do fine on, it will gain a lot on tire wear. So yeah, it might suffer in the qualifyings, but then we'll do well in the races.
All right, well, we're still trying to wait here for figure out what lobbies all the drivers need to go in. See if we can figure out any other upsets or surprises.
Excuse me if I'm a little quiet, guys, but I'm entering the times, so that's why I can't really. I can't do multiple things at once.
No, it's fine. You have your other job to do, and we're thankful that you're doing it. Another thing to note, I want to point out, is that we did mention that the GTR was one of the faster cars here at Kyoto, or at least it seems to be, with we saw here in Lobby A with the stake setting several purple sectors before losing it to the Fujiwara Complex, Kobu GT qualifying second. It's a bit surprising to only have the one AMG seemingly in Tier A. It qualified third place, so it's a good showing from it, and that third place will be excellent going into turn one. We know, as we mentioned earlier, just how good the starts on that AMG is. But still seems a little weird to only have an AMG, another car similar to the RCF, in that it's a very all-around balanced car, but again, only one of it in Tier A. Is there anything you guys want to point out, perhaps from Lobby B or C, that's a little surprising to you?
Let me see. Let's have a look. Mother's still sorting out the times. Yeah, I've not heard a lot about Pierre CDB, who's PK's teammate, setting the fastest time. Like, I think it was pretty much late on in the qualifying. He did the 2:17. 4:45. I'm pretty sure that's good enough for him to be in Group B along with Techno Guy. Turbo 99 10Q, I'm not quite sure if he's going to be in Group B, possibly. But one driver I was very surprised about was Kyu, because he's also in the GTR too. And I was paying close attention to him, and he was round about like 11th, down like 12th, because I think we've only got 13 people in here. Sorry, 14 people. And he was roughly down about there, but then he put in a lap of the gods to put it in 6th place. Yeah, that's. I'm still surprised that Kyu, who raced in Tier A last season, is in Group C for this one. That's baffling to me. Like,
it does seem, in fairness, that he did make it to Tier A. You know, the fact that we've had some people back out of the championship, so we wanted some more people to
Oh yeah, that was DEFCON.
Yeah, elevate to Tier A from Tier B if they wanted to graduate, another way we would put it. So he was one of those people that stepped up. So we did see him in Tier A because of that. But yeah, it is a good point. To go from that Tier A, the graduation to Tier A, all the way back towards now towards the front, but as you mentioned, for most of the qualifying session, the back of Tier C, it's a little shocking.
It is.
How about you, Ruby? I know you're busy entering the times, but how do you feel, perhaps, with any surprising things to you see in Tier B?
Yeah, well, Cro-Magnon got pole with a broken foot. Well, his foot is not broken. I'm not sure what happened exactly, but he has his foot in this kind of, medical device which stabilizes it. Yeah, exactly. So that is pretty impressive to get pole. Yeah, with something like that on your foot. I mean, I can't even imagine. You don't have any feeling with the pedal. For the rest, yeah, ARC Mermaid, I expect him to be up there. Maddie kind of disappoints me being in 9th. He was a Tier A driver, a designated Tier A driver, and now he's, mid-Tier B probably. So is it maybe the car again that doesn't suit him? We'll see in the race, I guess, because he is a strong racer. So.
We do have a question in chat from Synchronized 365. We did update the car list for Season 3. However, the person that was supposed to make a new race starting soon screen for us didn't get back to me in time for the start of the race. So we do have this older race starting soon screen for you here. But hopefully for the second race that will have gotten to me, and we will have the new screen for this situation. We do have new screens not only for our qualifying starting soon, which was made to us by the wonderful Art Kiwa, as we were talking about earlier, but now the new stream starting soon screen, which was made to us by Techno Guy, who is in Lobby C. which is also fantastic. So big thanks to all those people making new things for the stream. It's a big help out. It definitely helps with the quality and the presentation. So big thank you to all of those people. But still waiting for the lobbies to get sorted out. It's a bit difficult to try and sort out the time from roughly 50 different people and to say what lobby they need to go into.
Yeah, I can imagine that's a lot of work for Ruby to do.
Well, there's basically just a problem with the sorting which messed up the whole system, so I'm kind of putting it together, of trying to put it back together. So I'm very sorry that it takes such a long time.
Well, it's okay. So I believe we've talked about basically as much as we can now. So until the time that the race and all the lobbies get sorted out, we will be going quiet for a few minutes. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. The race will be starting soon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here now for the final of our Tier A Race 1 of Season 3 of the ARC GR3 Championships. Here's Alex Rogers on pole, followed by Kogu GT. Beckham in third, Lemmy in fourth, CRubennnn, excellent qualifying from him to put it in 5th place. Thomas TT in 6th, Jake Dan Harry 7th, Hideki Sama 8th, Willie Wug 9th, Kev Meister 10th, Chili 11th, Contrail 12th, Dan 13th, and Mermaid Bubble rounding at the back of the grid in 14th. We're going to go on board with the pole sitters, Alex Rogers, as the lights go out, and underway we go. Beckham and his AMG gets an awesome start, goes around the outside of Alex Rogers here, into turn 1. Will he take the lead? He will take the lead. Lemmy gets an excellent start, goes up into 3rd place, looking back. Kogu GT holds on to 4th, followed by Thomas TT. There's a battle towards the back of the pack here as they're almost too wide as they exit the corner. One car gets a little sideways, looked like, but he manages to hold it as Kev Meister goes very wide through the heavy curves, falls back to 8th place now, but now he's got Chili all over him. There's so many cars all over the track here. Names are everywhere. Contrail goes up the inside of Kev Meister. Looks like Chili's trying to go with him with Mermaid Bubble. Not quite close enough to get us sorted out, but we see Dan's going up into 12th place. They're back behind him, trying to go up the inside, I believe. That is Willie Wug. Yes, it is. Kev Meister now back into 9th. Chili trying to maybe get into battle here. Mermaid Bubble looking to go up the inside of Kev Meister. Not quite close enough, but Dan's almost into the back, and Mermaid Bubble has to get harder on the brakes to avoid contact there. Looking farther up the field, he's still Beckham trying to hold on to the lead ahead of Alex Rogers, who is in 2nd, ahead of Lemmy 3rd, Kogu GT 4th, Thomas TT 5th, and then it looks like there's a slight battle here for 6th place with Hideki Sama and Thomas TT, but Hideki Sama holds on to the slide after taking too much curve farther back behind. Lemmy is almost what, I don't know how many cars there is, almost a 6-car battle for 8th place here.
Well, what I used to call it, was it like a 28-wheel disaster from 7th on back.
Well, that's looking back behind
Look how close they are.
Looking back behind CRubennnn as they head towards the Fujiwara complex. You see Chili trying to take a slightly wider entry, but CRubennnn leaves the door
Alex
open.
is in the lead. Alex has passed Beckham for the lead. I think that was.
But Beckham's not going to let him keep it. Beckham's looking up the inside. It's going to be deep for him. Hard on the brakes. Lemmy's going to capitalize. Maybe go for the triple undercut on the exit. Not quite close enough to get it to stick. And Alex Rogers will hold on to the lead.
Holy moly! This is only just the first lap. 40-minute racing. This for another 40 minutes. Surely not. But this is some intense racing going on here, and there's still intense racing further back through the field. Look at Lemmy. Lemmy's challenging 2nd place for Beckham.
I'm just looking back on the battle here between Chili and Jake Dan Harry, as Jake Dan Harry is actually falling quite far back down the grid now in his Toyota Supra, not quite able to hold on with his partner Willie Wug back in 12th and 14th respectively. So Toyota's going backwards here, but I believe they're on the medium strategy. Alex Rogers still in 1st place, as you mentioned, Beckham in 2nd, Lemmy 3rd, Kogu GT. That is your top 4, and they are nose to tail right now. We're into the heavy curves. Kogu GT, let's go on board with him back behind this battle. We see Lemmy taking all of the grass, the inside of the curb, trying to shortcut that back and forth S's to switchbacks as much as he can, and now they head into Samurai.
Boy, God above. That was some great stuff there. Rogers is extending that lead over Beckham, but Beckham is now getting some serious pressure from the stalker.
Trying to go around the outside. Can he get it done? He's going to get it done. It looks like.
He's going to have the inside for turn 9 if he can stick there.
No, he cannot. Not quite close enough, but he almost made the outside move work. He did say before this race he wasn't necessarily having the most fun in that Jaguar, but whether that's because of the track or the car, I'm not quite sure. But he's doing an excellent job to keep it in the top 3 right now. The Kogu GT now back behind Lemmy, still sitting there in waiting. Looking farther back throughout the rest of the field, we see Contra around the back of Hideki Sama for the battle for 6th place. Hideki Sama opens the door a little bit. Contra looking to go through on the inside, not quite close enough to get it to stick though. Looking farther back to the field, Dan's just ahead of Chili here. Dan's up into 10th place in his Ford Mustang, trying to hold off Chili in 11th. As we see just in the back of the pack, it looked like Willie Wug was in a battle with Mermaid for 13th.
Tell you what, something must have happened to Mermaid Bubble, because I did see him going up there as high as 9th in the first couple of turns, so he must have slipped back a bit. His Mermaid was down to last place by looks of it now. Really Wug played past me somewhere. Just noticed on my screen.
I noticed it too myself, but still at the front of the field, it's still Alex Rogers leading Beckham ahead of Lemmy.
Oh, someone spun! Kev Meister's just spun. That is after Okami, turn 17.
get a replay of that. Couldn't seem to get a replay of that here. Let's see if we can. I could only catch the end of it, but it was the exit of Okami. He just not quite sure what happened, but he's now all the way back in 14th.
Tell you what, Lemmy has lost a bit of time to Beckham. He was all over the back of that Mercedes. He's dropped back, and now he's falling at the clutches of Kobu. Now, you know, basically Kobu is stalking the stalker for 3rd place.
Definitely a strong result from Kobu GT up to this point. As we mentioned earlier, he is in his favorite car here, the car he is most comfortable in, so he knows how to drive that thing like the back of his hand. But now he's all over the back of our Season 2 champion here at Kyoto. He's got an excellent run. The top speed of that Nissan GTR will help him down the straight, the long winding corner. He's trying to go around the outside, late braking in the GTR. Can he get it done? It looks like he does, but can he get it? Can he hold it? He's going to have the inside for the whiplash. Kobu GT up into 3rd place.
Nice pass from Kobu. We did see him having a few good occasions in that BMW, but you know, he's right back at his home in that Nissan GTR. He's made a wonderful pass on the defending champion too.
That's an excellent point. That defending champion, whether that's just the point of the GTR's top speed that you can carry through Samurai all the way down into Whiplash, the difference in top speed, but the Jag's no slouch either. But Kobu GT with a super clean move around the outside of Whiplash and then gave him the inside for the 2nd corner and held on to it here. Now he's going to set his sights on Beckham and possibly try to take that 2nd place away. Looking farther back in the field, there's still a close battle for 6th place between Hideki Sama and Contrail, and there's a queue of cars behind them.
Oh, it's just excitement all the way down through the field as you go on board with Chile. Not anymore. We're going back. Who's that on board with? Is that
Hideki Sama? Yep.
Yep, and there's Lemmy's teammate Contrail and the other Jaguar making a move to the inside of
Hideki Sama goes wide on the exit. He has to put it in the dirt to try and hold it. So now they head into Shinigami. A little bit of contact maybe, but not quite. Hideki Sama almost gets the exit wrong. He takes too much curb on the inside and loses the exit. Shinigami, the Reaper of Death in Japanese folklore, will strike Hideki Sama. And now he might even lose up to 10th place with Mermaid Bubble. 1 corner, he's going to lose possibly 4 positions.
That's just all down to momentum, isn't it? There, you know, that's going to be one thing that I touched upon earlier too. Is that turn 19, it can catch people out. Very easy to make a penalty through there.
It looks like Willy Wug's trying to manage to go with Mermaid. Mermaid will get the move done, but now Willy Wug is trying to get on the back of the Aston Martin to go with him. Hideki Sama from 6th to 10th in roughly a quarter of a lap.
Chile's to come on the outside of Contrail, out just going into Samurai. That is for 6th place. The gap between Contrail to Thomas is now just over 6.4 seconds. They're battling really hard, but you know, it's allowing Thomas to get away.
Chile up the inside. Late braking, no contact, maybe a little bit. Couldn't quite tell from that camera angle. Maybe forcing his way through. Will concede position. No, he's going to try and take it around the outside through the 2nd corner of Whiplash. Go for the undercut on Contrail. He opens the door. Not quite. Couldn't get the power down.
There was one thing I forgot to mention on that hot lap there. At turn 8, there's a nasty bump. It's very easy to get the car like sideways if you're going back on the power. It will spin the car around there. So that's one thing I forgot to say. But yeah, that's an insane battle for 6th place. Different lines there.
There you go, Chile getting an excellent run on the exit there of Ronin, as you just mentioned. Now we'll lead Contrail. That was an excellent exit for our Chile. Up into 6th place he goes, but he might lose it here as he goes wide through Fujiwara. But he'll have the inside for the cut back. Will he close the door? A little bit of contact, but they keep it clean. Chile into 6th place.
My oh my. Tense racing fell back through the field. Jake Dan Hardy in the Toyota there. He's making he's showing some muscle in that Toyota Supra, followed by Mermaid, the Dutchman.
Yep, he is towards the start of the race. So he did mention he was towards the latter half of the grid there. I think he was sitting at 13th, and now he's back up into 8th place. So a good recovery drive for him after a bad start in the Toyota Supra. I do believe Kev did mention. Yep.
It's happening already.
Beckham and Lemmy both making their pit stops here.
Yeah, they were both on the soft tyres. Now I'm wondering what Lemmy's going to do. He's just gone straight in and straight out.
Another set of softs. So just going on another set of softs.
I'm wondering if he's doing the same strategy that won that race at the Nürburgring and that 1 year anniversary race, when he went to soft mediums, because it worked then.
It did work then. He might be trying that again here. No fuel in that car, just a set of tires. And I do want to bring up this little graphic you made for us. See if I can bring it up here. There you go, the tire degradation. You did the math here in the testing. We are on lap 5 here. So you see the softs lasting roughly 5 to 7 laps, the mediums lasting 7 to 9, the hards about roughly 10 to 12. So that might have been towards the end of the life on those soft tires, and maybe just decided to pit before we lost too much time.
Yeah, also, I'm just looking at Beckham too. Beckham also opted to go for the soft tires. He did put a lot of fuel in the car too. So Beckham and Lemmy sort of having like the same strategy as each other.
Yeah, they did have the same strategy, but Beckham actually comes out 3.5 ahead of Lemmy. Did Lemmy maybe put a little bit of a splash of fuel in his car?
I think he did put a tad bit more fuel in his Jaguar.
Well, that would explain it, but now your top 3 is Alex Rogers, Kobu GT in 2nd, and Thomas TT in 3rd.
Battle going on for 7th place. They're going into Ronan. Mermaid has passed Jake Dan Hardy in the other Mercedes.
One thing to note is at one point, Mermaid Bubble, I believe it was at the back of the grid. He was all the way back in 14th, and now he's up into 17th.
Yeah, and also mentioning as well what happened, I think, either on the first or second lap, he fell back to 14th, and he's gone back up to 7th.
Oh, back, there's battle behind. It was for Dan's and Contrail. There's a bit of it looked like a pass there. And let's see if I can get a replay of that. There might have been a bit of contact here as they're going in. Dan's on the inside. Did he overshoot the exit and Contrail went under? He did. Textbook pack. Oh, and there might actually was a little bit of a bump, I think. I think Contrail just gave Dan's a little bit of a tap that opened the door.
Again, look at the bit like at for the stewards there to look out. Anyway, Ruben, what's going on with Group B?
Well, we are 3 laps going on right now, and PK is running away with it. He already has 3 seconds on number 2, ERA the stick, sorry. And then in 3rd we have Jans 999 in the Beetle. There's a close battle going on between Nugatti, who just overtook Jans. So there are 2 Porsches in the top 4 at the moment. Also, Maddie had a blistering start. He went from 6th, 7th, or 8th, I don't know, to 3rd or 2nd. I'm sorry. And then he just dropped off completely. So I have no idea what happened to him. I must have missed it, but it will be interesting to look back at it after the race.
Now back to the action at Tier A. One thing to note is a bunch of cars on the mediums actually made a bit of a pit stop for another set of looked to be mediums. No, some of them are on softs now.
Yeah, a lot of them on softs now. Jake Dan made a pit stop, Willie made a pit stop, Dan's the soft tyres, and they started on mediums.
You see a battle between Kev Meister and Mermaid Bubble there for 9th place. Just ahead of Jake Dan Harry here on the car, where Kev will go defensive. Mermaid's looking to go around the outside, possibly on his new set of tires. Couldn't get the switch back exactly, but he's going to have possibly a wider entry for the second part of the whiplash, excuse me. Still no run for him. You see Dan's and Willie Wug going battling back for that 12th place behind Jake Dan Harry. Now, another thing to note is Dan's not normally a driver you see back in this position. He's normally at the front of the grid, chasing guys like Lemmy and Alex Rogers, and I'm not back in. Do you feel he's back here because he's not comfortable with the track, or he's not comfortable with the car?
I think he's not comfortable with the car. I've been messaging back and forth on the Discord chat saying how the Ford is driving around there. He says it's not good. He's not really enjoying it. Just like the same with Lemmy in the Jaguar. Like he's not enjoying it in the Jaguar. And it's the same for Dan's in the Ford. He's not really enjoying the Ford, but we'll see though. We'll see. He might be playing a game. We'll see wait till after the race is over.
It is interesting. It seems interesting to me to note that the GTR and the Mustang are similar cars in that they're more focused towards the straight line speed than they are their cornering speed. But we see the GTR almost being favored on this track, like we mentioned in qualifying. We saw ERA the Stake going purple through several sectors, Kobe GT qualifying second. I believe the pole position in Lobby C was actually a GTR as well, if I'm not mistaken. So the GTR does seem to favor this track, but they're similar cars in that it's weird to me that the Mustang doesn't work here, but the GTR does.
It's just how the track is in favor of. You know, there'll be some tracks that maybe the Ford is better than the GTR. There may be other tracks that the GTR is better than the Ford.
That is true. I'm going to throw this to Ruben, our lead analyst here. What do you think, Ruben? Why would the GTR work on this track and not the Mustang?
I have no idea because I would never drive these cars. Probably has something to do with the fast and long corners, I reckon. So yeah, the GTR is probably just more stable in those fast left-handers, and then the S's maybe just a little bit more agile, just a tad, than the Mustang. So yeah, that small difference can make a big difference in whole, you know. So.
Well, thank you.
Tell you what, I'm still watching this battle for 6th place here. Chile and Contra. It's still going on, this battle for 6th place, and it's allowing the Hideki Sama to catch up to with his Aston to catch up to this battle.
Well, I'm currently watching the battle for 4th place between Kobo GT and Thomas Mr. TT. Well, actually, now just Thomas TT. He lost the Mr. Part. He's just Thomas TT. Actually getting real close to the back of the Nissan GTR rear bumper there.
We must have missed when Lemmy passed Kobo. Oh no, wait a minute, has Kobo made a pit stop?
Yes, he has. He has switched to the medium tires. So they managed to go for the undercut, because remember, Lemmy did take another set of softs with Beckham. Yeah. So they're probably going for the soft, medium strategy, so they use those softs to get the undercut.
Right, okay. Got ya.
Another thing to note is we did interview Kobu back in Season 2, and he does say he does favor the Japanese tracks, like tracks like Kyoto, Suzuka, Tokyo, Fuji, yeah. He does favor the Japanese tracks. So do you feel that might be coming into play here?
I think definitely so. Also, Autopolis as well, I forgot there, he finished 2nd.
Yep, that's true.
And yeah, I don't know, it must be... I don't know if it's just lucky or like he's just. Oh, sorry, I was looking at my screen. Also, he also mentioned Bathurst was his best track too, and DNF'd around there. So, I'm quite curious to know why Japanese tracks are favoured in Kobu.
I think he just happens to be a fan of the Japanese culture. We see him running the Team Good Smile Racing livery and name. You got the Hatsune Miku on the side. He's typically been a big fan most of the Japanese cars and the culture. So I believe that's coming into play. It's just kind of, I'm not quite sure if he has Japanese heritage in him. I'm not familiar with that. But I think he's just a fan. Yeah. If you get him for an interview, I'd happily ask him. But I think that's just what it comes down to here. But looking at the current positions on track, the top 5 have broken away from the rest of the field here, with Chile leading the pack behind him in 6th place, with Contrail almost now in a battle for 8th place, or at least it seemed to be before the exit of the Whiplash.
I was just about to say, Chile has freed himself from Contrail for that battle for 6th place, and now Contrail is holding up a train of cars, 7th on back to 14th, which is Pro Magna at the back there. So, oh, look at this, Willie. I'm having a look at Willie Wog here. He's going to try and pass Dan's on the outside at the Fujiwara complex here.
I just watched Merlin Bubble do an excellent pass at the inside of Hideki Sama for 8th place in the back of Contra. That was a great pass.
Yeah, Willie Wog just blitzed by Dan's in that Ford Mustang. Dan's is definitely stronger than that Ford around this track here.
Season 1 champion now battling with some of the rookies to Season 3. You have Pro Magner back behind him. He's not a rookie to a GR3 championship, I don't believe, but he is a rookie to Tier A. He did qualify.
He's in the pit.
As a good call. So let's see. There will need some fuel. Will he jump to the mediums? 21 minutes remaining.
These were the first two to make their first pit stop on Kyoto. Yeah, now Beckham has gone onto the mediums.
See where they come out. Did it cost him? So he ends up behind Chile. Lemmy ends up behind Chile, and Mermaid Bubble behind him. So possibly the double stop for the soft medium might not work out for Lemmy here.
No, Lemmy's fuel is at about 50%. I'm looking to see what Beckham's at. They're about the same too. This is actually quite interesting that Beckham and Chile are going for the same exact strategy.
Beckham did come out in front of Chile, but Lemmy came out behind Chile, so possibly Beckham took in slightly less fuel than Lemmy. But they also just made their pit stops for mediums, where some of the cars that were on mediums just pitted for softs. So it'll be interesting to see if they go in for another set of softs or another set of mediums.
Well, we're just passing half. Well, nearly coming towards half distance in this race. I'd imagine they would have to make another pit stop here. So
Yeah, they
what
would
tire
have to,
time
yeah.
come? I don't know.
We're back to the two-stop strategy, Savoy.
We are back to they might actually have to pit 3 times actually.
It depends. Yeah, they could if they want to go for soft, medium.
Well, Beckham and Lemmy are on the soft mediums at the moment. But now we're down to less than halfway through this endurance race. So 3-stop strategy, 4-stop strategy maybe?
Only time will tell here. Looks like there might be a small battle forming here between the two teammates of Willy Wug and Jake Dan Harry. The two Toyota Supers for Team Mistral. In 8th and 9th place respectively.
Willy Wug's gone up to 8th there, I just noticed on my screen. He's just past his teammate Jake Dan Harry. Oh, I think other people may have been it too, actually. My apologies.
Alex Rogers, the leader, makes his pit stop. The leader. Does he finally make his pit stop? Has he made a pit stop before?
He made a pit stop before, yeah. He made a pit stop before. Onto the mediums for the leader.
So Thomas TT will inherit 2nd place ahead of Cobra GT. Alex Rogers still has a comfortable lead here. Chili makes his pit stop now from 6th place. Ruby, how about now?
Thanks. Sorry, you go, Lachlan.
I was just going to ask Ruby for an update on Tier B and how things are going there.
Well, we're almost halfway, lateral Savoy. BK is still in the lead. He has a 6-second lead on ERA the stick, and Jansen Beetle is still in 3rd place at the moment. There's quite some changing of positions behind that, because people are in the mediums, go to the softs, and other people in softs go to the mediums, so it's really going back and forth. It's really interesting to watch. So if anything happens, I'll really update you right here.
Sorry to get a bit excited there, but I just see Jake Dan, Harry, Mermaid, and Dams all come up the pit lane, like close together. They all ghosted each other, and they went 3 wide going into turn 1. Jake Dan, Harry came out on top, and Dan's, the season 1 champion, is last.
That is a very good point. We see Jake Dan Harry go for a dive bomb around the outside. I've never seen a move like that work before.
Holy moly, has he got NOS inside that Toyota? What a pass that was!
Hideki-sama covers the inside. He just used the power of the super late brakes around the outside, and he's already got position midway through the corner. That was an awesome pass.
Nice.
And Hideki-sama pitted the lap before, and he's on the soft tyres as well as Jake Dan Harry.
And now we see Dan's going up the inside of it. Looks like, I want to get the name right here, Mermaid through Ronin. Now as they head towards the Fujiwara complex, they're still battling for positions here. Dan's trying to go up the inside of Hideki-sama. Could he get it done here? He's going to be putting his car on the curb. Might have been a bit of contact there. I'm not quite sure. Will he give the position back, or will he keep fighting? They're still fighting here as they head towards Okami.
Thomas will be pitting this time by his fuel gauge is flashing at red.
Looks like
Gap down
Dan's
to 5.2. Yep, and then goes Thomas.
tried to get the inside through Okami, but couldn't get it done, and he's still battling with these 2 other cars.
Open's also in the pit lane, so Beckham's back into 2nd, Lemmy in 3rd. Thomas is down to 4th, but he stays on the soft tyres. Kobu down maybe to 6th place, 7th place maybe. Is he going all the way with this fuel? Must be. Where does he come out in? In 6th place, he's on softs, and he's up to about 50%. These are really interesting strategy, Lato. I love this.
Well, as we see Dan, Hideki-sama, and Mermaid all come out of the pit, all pass by the pits. We see Contrail, Really Wug, and Cro-Magner back behind them now after making their pit stops. So once again, looks like we have a bit of a battle forming towards the back of the pack here. Hideki-sama and Mermaid Bubble still battling side by side, almost roughly. Contrail will stay ahead of Willy Wug here as they go through the heavy curves. Actually, it looks like Willy Wug gets the run on Contrail. He does. The power of that Supra will let him take the lead of the 2 cars going into Samurai.
So I'm just right now, he's let us down to see what tyres on there. I'm just noticing here too that Really Wog is still on the softs. He's gone soft. So he's going to have to change for medium tyres. I wonder if he's going to make one more pit stop and change to the medium tyres. Because he hasn't changed their tyre compound yet.
We have 15 minutes left in this race. Again, these races are no longer done by lap count, but they're done by time. So 40-minute race, 15 minutes remaining. You see Willy Wug here trying to go up the inside of Hideki Sama. Looks like a good clean move through Ronin. Gets the position done. Hideki Sama moves through. Willy Wug goes through. Back at the front of the field, Alex Rogers still leading by 12 seconds. Alex Rogers out for blood this season.
Yeah, he looks like he's a man on a mission for this season. Now that he's not in the Porsche no more, he's in that Beetle that Ruben loves, and I think Ruben will have a right smile on his face to hear that a Beetle is leading this race.
Come on, Alex, get him.
Back behind Alex, we have Beckham in second place in his Mercedes AMG. Lemmy, our Season 2 champion, in third place, followed by Arc Thomas TT in fourth place. That's your top four, with Arc Chili now in fifth place, Kobu GT behind him in sixth. We have Kev Meister in seventh, and Aston Martin, Jake Dan Harry in eighth, and Toyota Supra. Dan's up into ninth, so Dan has been climbing the ladder here, the ladder of cars, one could say. In ninth place in his Ford Mustang, we have Arc Mermaid in 10th, Willy Wong in 11th, ERA Contrail in 12th, Hideki Sama in 13th, and Cro-Magnon rounding out the back of the grid here, as I say, but he looks to be trying to find a way by Hideki Sama here in his GTR.
Got ourselves a battle for third place here. Thomas all over the back of Lemmy. Lemmy made a mistake on the exit to Samurai. Thomas is going to go around the outside, going into Whiplash. Looks like he's got that third place that he has. So Thomas has gone by Lemmy, although Thomas is on the soft tyres, Lemmy is on the medium tyres. But that was a great pass from Thomas, passing before going into Whiplash.
That was an excellent pass. So Thomas TT, the German that's been in this series since season 1, now in the top 3. German, Belgium. Excuse me. They have the same similar colors in their flag. Excuse me, the dumb North American. The Belgian.
It's almost calling Gavmeister a Frenchie.
Actually, the French is doing well in 7th place.
He is. He's actually managed to improve after that spin we saw at Shinigami. He's elevated himself up to 7th place, but he might be off strategy compared to some of the other cars. So he has potential to fall down some places here in his Aston Martin, a car that I'm pretty sure he is quite familiar with and enjoys driving, but time will tell. Looking farther back down the field here, there still seems to be a queue of cars forming for that 9th place, led by Dance here, followed by Willy Wug, Mermaid, ERA Contrail, all battling soon for that 11th place as our leader, Alex Rogers, makes his pit stop.
Now, I'm wondering if he's going to put in a lot of fuel in, and this could possibly be his last pit stop potentially. I wonder if he's going to stick with the medium compound tyres if he wants to. If he wants to go, let's see. He's having a bit of fuel. Oh, he's on the softs. Okay then.
But he's on the softs, but he comes out behind Beckham and Thomas TT. Is Thomas TT on the softs? He is.
Thomas TT is on the softs.
He is on the softs. So Thomas TT's undercut seems to have worked, but his tires will fall off faster than Alex Rogers. So we have a proper battle for the lead here, now led by Beckham.
Actually, to correct you on that there, Alex was the first to make the pit stop on the third one. Look at this! Look at that then! Thomas going around the outside. Oh, look at Rogers!
Alex Rogers will take the lead with an excellent pass through Samurai.
Holy moly.
Go on board with Alex Rogers. Thomas TT tries to go around the outside of Beckham. Beckham brakes and just opens the door, and Alex Rogers goes right on through.
Alex just says, thank you very much. Christmas has come early for me. I'll retake that lead there. But just what I was going to say before, when Alex made that incredible pass and opportunistic one at that, as well as Thomas is not yet pitted as well as Beckham.
Sure, I thought Thomas made his pit stop just a little bit earlier.
Yeah, okay, on my screen he said he pitted on lap 12.
Well, it's lap 13 right now.
On my screen.
It is lap 13 right now.
Oh, okay then. I'm not too sure then.
So this is a battle for the lead, but Thomas TG now does have worse tires. So that pass through Samurai could possibly just have cost Thomas TG the race.
Beckham's tires have really fallen off the cliff. He's got to make a pit stop like now. Like this has got to be his
fuel.
pit lane.
His fuel's looking quite low too, so he will also need to pit for fuel. So he's going to lose a couple of positions here to not only Lemmy but Chili.
Look at Chili. Chili's getting close to the back of Lemmy.
Well, Chili also made his pit stop not that long ago, so there's, well, I say not that long ago, but those tires are actually looking quite worn, and he needs to pit for fuel as well. So looking at Lemmy also is going to need to make a pit stop, and he could possibly go another lap. But if Chili didn't enter the pit lane ahead of Lemmy, that's going to be a huge advantage for him on the exit of the pit lane.
And there's 10 minutes to go, so I'm wondering if this can be
side by side. Oh, Lemmy just goes in ahead.
Lemmy just says, no, you don't, Chili. This is interesting. What tires are they going to go for? Lemmy and Beckham have sort of did the same strategy as each other. Are they going to go back to softs? Kev's in the pits. Jake's in the pits. It's a short pit lane, this, isn't it? So I think Dan's was saying we lose roughly about 6 seconds here.
So looking at it, it looks like Beckham has come out ahead of Chili, ahead of Lemmy. So Chili did manage to jump Lemmy in the pit lane, but I think he had to underfuel his car to do it.
Yeah, Lemmy's just over 50% left of fuel, whereas Chili is just under 50%. But seems to, I was going to say pull away there. Look at that, Willie Wog now in 7th. He hasn't made a pit stop yet, I've just noticed.
So he is a bit out of sequence, but still a good position for him to be in. Alex Rogers has opened his lead to 1.6 seconds over Thomas TT. That's the difference of new tires and just the drivers in front of you basically opening the door for you to go right on through. Kobu GT still in a solid 3rd place with basically an even gap in front and behind him. Beckham leading the group here of in 4th place here after making his pit stop. Ahead of Chili, ahead of Lemmy, with Willie Wug, who we mentioned was off sequence. As we see there, Road Magner and Contrail actually doing a bit of a battle for 8th place here.
Thomas and Kobu will be definitely making a pit stop within this lap. So where I wonder if Beckham possibly could take 2nd place back here. But I'm confused there. I wonder if Chili could actually end up finishing on the podium here. But though saying that, Thomas and Kobe will be on fresh tyres. Oh, this is anyone's guess for 2nd place lap. This really is.
That it is. It's quite open, and one has to give props to Chili, the driver who, I mean, in qualifying he didn't necessarily do the best. He's in a car a lot of people wouldn't consider a meta car. It's in flashy colors, which you don't normally see on race cars sponsored by Vagisil of all things. But he's doing an excellent job to pilot that car towards the front of the grid.
I feel that Chili is getting better and better as each round goes on. As you see, Thomas is in his pits. So where will this make Thomas come out? As Kobu, as I predicted, they will be come in this pit.
So another set of softs going on Thomas TT's car. I expect it to be the same for Kobu. 7 minutes remaining. They might be able to go to the end on that.
Kobu comes out in 6th, but he's got fresher tyres than Lemmy.
So Chili now is 1 second behind Beckham, and they pitted on the same lap. Am I correct?
No, I think Lemmy.
No, they did. They did pit on the same lap.
Oh, they did.
So this is a battle for a podium position here. That was a big slide from Chili there at the exit of the heavy curves.
That was a massive bump. He only lost like a couple of attempts though, but Lemmy is sort of closed it in. Oh no, he's not. He's pulling away.
So Chili,
I think that's just down to the straight line speed of the Citroen, isn't it?
It could be. So Chili could be on point for a podium finish for not only himself but Team Brian.
Yeah, that Vagisil was working well on Chili, isn't it?
He's now within a second of Beckham in front of him. And these cars should be fueled enough to go to the end. Their tires will be quite worn, so it'll be interesting to see if Kobu GT behind them can close that gap. We just saw him in the back of the shop just there. 6 minutes remaining now. This will be the developing battle for the bottom spot on the podium.
I think we should take a little break for this and see what's happening in Group B. So, Ruby, what's going on with that?
Well, ERA the Stick, who was in first place for a long time, he just made his pit stop and he went to soft tires again. So that means that PKMZ, who just finished his stint on medium tires, now is 3 seconds behind ERA the Stick. So he really lost a lot of times battling, you know, the traffic. At the moment, there's another Beetle in first position, which is a Jans 999. But I reckon, seeing his tires, where he will need to pit again. Probably also go to the mediums. I'm not too sure of that. For the rest, yeah, there's been a big battle going on between Fendogask 77 and ARC Tay for like a couple of laps already, and Tay can catch up to him, but he can't really overtake him because Fendogask is in that V12 Vantage with a lot of straight line speed, so it's really difficult for Tay to find a way around. But it's still 10 minutes to go and a lot of pit stops need to happen, so I will definitely keep a lookout for interesting things.
Thank you, Ruby. As we just saw on the left-hand side of your screen, Willy Wog does make his final pit stop for just under 5 minutes remaining here, and Chili crows right up to the back of Beckham here. That mid-engine layout of that Citroen doing him a lot of favors to the heavy curves. You see Beckham go defensive as they go into Samurai. Chili trying to take a wider entry, maybe go up the inside. Can he find the room? No, Beckham covers it off.
Chili is looking super racy here tonight. Here he goes to the outside. We've seen many people try and go around the outside and make it pass, but Chili's not gonna do it. Possibly to go over the little kink.
Ooh, a little bit of a slide from both of them.
Yeah, that because they hit the bump there and must have got their power a bit too early. Now going into turns 10 and 11. Beckham's third place is under severe pressure here.
Would know Chili almost got a podium last season when he almost managed to pass, I believe it was, his closest finish was 4th place at St. Croix. He managed to take that 4th place from Ruben when he happened to run out of gas. So now he's in that same 4th place here, but he has a chance to finish on the podium.
I don't think Ruben wanted to remind himself of that incident again, but anyway, back to the race and we go. Has Chili got that 3rd place yet? No, side by side. Beckham uses all of the racetrack there to get that Citroen right behind.
I have to say that Mercedes AMG is the widest car on track right now. And the more that these two fight, the more Lemmy behind, and even more importantly, Kobu GT on his even newer soft tire starts to come in. The shot is, he just saves the rear end of that car.
He's getting a bit eager at the throttle as Kobu. But I wonder if Beckham has been learning from what Matty's been doing as the gatekeeper. I wonder if oh my god, Kobu had another moment off of Shinigami? Shinigami, yes it is. But yeah, going back to what I was saying about Beckham, I wonder if he's learning out of Matty's books to how to defend your position. Because so far it's working at the moment with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left.
Beckham opens the door. Beckham opens the door, but Chili can stead it in. No touch, but real close. But this section will favor Chili here. He's got the mid-engine layout, so he'll have the superior grip. He's going to stick up the inside. Can't get through the second corner of the heavy curves, but he's going to try and get the switch back. He's going to try and get the run into Samurai. It looks like he's got it. He's going to go for the outside. But we've seen the outside work here, but can he hold it?
Watch Lemmy though. Lemmy in the background's coming. Samurai has got it, and you have the inside too.
And he's got it.
He's got it. Yes, Chili in the podium. But now it's allowed Lemmy to get into the battle for 3rd place.
And even Kobu GT. This is now a 4-car battle for the final spot on the podium. 2 minutes remaining.
2 minutes less to go. Yeah, exactly.
What an overtake. That was beautiful.
It's a thing of beauty, isn't it?
So let's go on board with Kobu GT as we watch this battle in front of us unfold. Once again, Kobu GT on the newer soft tires. So he has the advantage in this situation. The more the cars fight in front, the more they have tire wear, the closer the Kobu will get.
Sorry to interrupt you there again, but
just look at the closing speed of Kobu's Nissan GTR over Lemmy. Kobu trying to now come the outside of Lemmy into the Fujiwara complex, but Lemmy covers the inside and will not let him take the position.
Kobu's got the fresher tires than Lemmy too, so Yeah, I was just going to point out that there's an incredible battle going on for 10th place between Willy Wog, Dan's, Contra, and Chromagda. They're all nose to tail, and it's 4 different manufacturers there too. I'm looking at your screen there. Kobu had a massive moment in Okami.
A little bit of a tap into the back of Lemmy, but they both hold on to it. All of these cars want that podium position that Chile has, but Kobu's having a hard time getting by Lemmy to get into that fight. They will cross the line one more time. This next lap will be the last lap. Currently, your top 3 is Alex Rogers, Thomas Tate, and Arc Chile.
Still looking for the battle here for 10th place. Contra looks to the inside of Chromagda. He's got 12th place. They're going to get 1 lap done in, so that's another great battle going on for 10th place.
Heavy curves go with these 4 cars. Kobu GT, and we missed the pass, but Kobu GT has managed to find a way by Arkalemi on the start-finish straight.
Oh, but he's hit the wall.
He had a moment. He's had a moment. No damage to that car, and he's low on fuel. So I don't know if he can manage to take that podium spot from the 2 other cars in front of him. But now he has to worry about Lemmy, and here's rearview mirrors. Meanwhile, Chile has a gap to Beckham.
Oh, sorry, I thought Kobu hit the wall of the last turn of the EB curves.
He did. No, there was a touch. There was at least a moment there, but it seems like no damage done from it. So currently, Chile and Thomas Tate on point for their best finishes so far in ARC. This is now the final lap halfway around the track. Chile seems to be doing an excellent job to hold on to his position ahead of Beckham, who is slowly falling off the back, but Kobu GT senses that. He tastes the blood in the water, so we might see Kobu GT take that 4th place from Beckham.
I think this is Chile's here, like, unless of the fuel. Chile's fuel is looking very dry. I mean, Beckham, massive movement through the Fujiwara complex. He might lose that 4th place though to a fighting Kobu. I mean, keep an eye on that.
That I will. This is the last lap. A few more corners to go. Not too many passing opportunities here, but Kobu's the closest he's ever been to the back of Beckham. He has roughly 3 corners to make it work.
It's got to be 10 and 20. It's got to be the last corner. Last corner's a hairpin. Alex has just come across the line to take the first win of the season. This is where Kobu's got to make his pass. Can he do it? I think he's too far back.
I think he's too far back. He takes a slightly wider entry, trying to go for the cutback on the exit. Will Beckham cover it off? He looks like he does, but a little bit of slide. Kobu GT's power might take him to the line to take that 4th place. It's a long run. Can he do it? Not quite.
It's close. Oh, wow.
So Alex Rogers is your inaugural winner for our first race in Season 3 here at Kyoto, followed by Thomas TT in second, Arc Chile with his best finish, finally getting his foot on the podium, Beckham in 4th place, Kobu GT in 5th, Arc Lemmy in 6th place, Mermaid in 7th, Jake Dan Harry in 8th, followed by Kevmeister in 9th, Willy Wug in 10th, Cro-Magner in 11th, great result from him, ERA Contrail in 12th place. We have Dan's now crossing the line out of fuel.
He's out of fuel. Oh, out of fuel. And he was battling with 11th and 12th for that. And he ran out of fuel.
And Hideki Sama rounding out the back, the grid in 14th. But congratulations all around to Alex Rogers and his Volkswagen Beetle here, taking the inaugural win for Team 2 and the most points home he can. Congratulations to him. So Alex Rogers, would you mind giving us a bit of an update on what's happening in Lobby B?
Well, with 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go, ERA Stick has a 1.7 second lead on PKMZ. The Stick just pitted for new tires, but PKMZ tries to hold on to that slipstream, but I think he just lost it on the home straight. So I reckon there's going to be 2 more laps to go. Jans is still sitting in 3rd in the Beetle, so that's a solid job for the Beetle. Again, another podium. He has a 7-second lead to Findogusk in the V12, and Nugatti in the Porsche is now 5th. There are no there are big battles going on for position 11, 12, and 13. It's Tarbo, Pierre, and Thunderpig. So for now, for now, ERA the Stick just has a lead of 2.7 seconds. So I reckon PKMZ made a mistake somewhere, so that's probably going to be the win for VR in the stick, but you can never be too sure, so I'll keep an eye out on that.
All right.
Just
well,
one.
keep us slightly. I was just gonna say that we will be right back momentarily because we have some driver interviews to do. So we'll be right back momentarily, ladies and gentlemen, before we get that sorted out. We will try to get you an update on our Tier B with when that finishes up. So we'll be right back momentarily.
Cool.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with our inaugural race winner of Season 3, Alex Rogers. Alex, how was it out there?
Yeah, it's great. Thank you. Yeah, it's really good. I just want to say before we start, I did that for Ruben, man. He's been rocking the Beetle for a couple of seasons. I did that for him.
Beetle!
You complete and utter suck up.
Hey, man, Ruby's in charge. He's got the kick button on the server, so, you know, got to...
Well, you went from the Porsche 911 to the Beetle. What's the biggest difference to you that you noticed between the two cars?
It can get off the line, which is a big one. So yeah, I mean, the Mercedes is insane, right? Like, I can't, nobody can contend with that. But yeah, it's much better off the line. It's great on tires. To be honest with you, it's pretty much like the Porsche, just with a little bit more fuel-saving ability because it's got an extra gear. So yeah, before Rono comes in and says, "Oh, you're driving the Meta car again," like it's a similar car, yeah. But it's maybe not got the handling of the Porsche, but if you use it in the right way, it's pretty amazing.
Well, a first win of Season 3 in the books for you, Team 2. Good points on board for you.
I'll have to go catch up with the other guys and see how they got on as well.
How do you feel about the rest of the season? Do you feel like you can keep that form, or is that kind of like the one-time thing for this race and this track?
It might be just the track, I don't know. We'll see. There's a couple of other tracks line up, like Nordschleife, for example. I can see that being quite an issue. What's the word? There'll be loads of issues in that race. So yeah, and with this car and great like tire wear and stuff like that, it should be decent race, and Sardinia should be alright as well. We'll probably struggle on some of the power tracks, but the fuel saving's like immense. So if I can start getting people's slipstreams and play it that way, I'm sure we'll still have good finishes. But maybe not necessarily wins, but I think we'll be competing.
All right, and I have to bring it up. Season 2, we saw some disasters from you as a driver, some mistakes which caused you to lose lots of positions, namely at Suzuka. We saw you take a bit of a break in the off-season, not running those off-season championships, but you're back for Season 3. Do you feel like those mistakes are going to happen again? Do you feel like that break has helped you mentally?
Oh, they'll probably happen, of course. Yeah, this track's not too difficult, is it? So I think maybe that's where it helps. But we'll probably get to like Tokyo, for example. I'm sure there's going to be some stupid error where I forget tire wears on and slam it into a wall somewhere. So yeah, it'll happen. But I'm glad I got that race win, so I can kind of move on with the season now. And if that's the only win at 6, then I'm kind of happy. Good enough.
Right. Well, some good points on board for you and Team 2 in general. So thank you for joining us, and congratulations on your win here.
Thanks a lot.
All right, let's go to Chile.
I'm sorry, Lateral. I'm going to interrupt you for a second because race B just finished. So ERA the stake 1 in the GTR, so those are some good points for the GTR. He was very happy with it because he saw him weaving around erratically just in front of the finish line. ARC PKMZ came second in the Porsche, so that's also solid performance from PK. And then Jans came third, which is good news for Alex because he's in the Beetle as well. And then fourth is Fendogask in the V12, and another Porsche on place 5. So there you go. Final update on race B.
All right,
That
thank
be
you.
Pierre.
Pierre, no, Nugatti. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, okay.
All right, thank you, Ruby.
See ya.
All right, let's continue on with these interviews. Chili, are you here?
Hello.
Hello, Chili. Well, a great result for you in your Citroen GT today.
Yeah, that came from nowhere. I was honestly not expecting us to be competitive this race at all. Qualifying 11th, I just thought, head for P7, P6, that'll do for the day, grab some points. And the race just opened up for me, so I just went for it.
Well, as we mentioned, some good points on board for you. Last season, you went from an Aston Martin V12, the front-engine V12 power of the Aston, to a mid-engine Citroen GT. What's the difference between those two cars for you?
In actual fact, for me at least, there's not really much of a difference. The only thing I had to change is the brake bias going forward rather than backwards. They're both understeery boats, so they suit my driving style perfectly. Much prefer understeer than oversteer. So yeah, in actual fact, jumped in the car, and apart from obviously it had a 7th gear, it was like home almost.
That's good to hear from you. Today, you finished 3rd, as we mentioned. Do you feel like that's a good form for you to keep the rest of the season? Or do you feel like today was maybe you just caught some of the drivers out that aren't quite used to the cars or didn't get much practice?
Today's such an outlier. Again, as I said, I did not expect to be anywhere near this high on the grid. You had odd races from everyone there. I mean, there was a couple of the Tier B guys jumping up into Lobby A as well, so that changed the dynamic a little bit. So yeah, it was. I don't think that I can keep these results up as all the way through the season. But if I can have a similar race as I did today, then I'll do it again happily.
Well, from last season, you went from being the B driver in your team with the Season 1 champion with Dan's to now being the A driver for Team Brian. It's at least the way it seems based on times and your results today. How does it feel to almost be the team leader?
I can't claim team leadership really. Tay is technically faster than me. I just think he struggled on this track a little bit. But we are very similar pace. On his day he's quicker, on my day I'm quicker. So in all honesty, we're sort of sharing the role of team leader at the moment. But I did spend a lot of time this week practicing and getting the strategy down for the team. And I think it served most of us well. So yeah, I'm reveling in it really. But I don't expect my teammates to be asking me for tips for driving because that's way too far.
All right. Well, thank you. Congratulations on
Can
your.
I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Can I ask a question? Hello, Chili, my Rocket League teammate.
Okay.
So that 3rd place, that's your best ever finish in Group A, just to let you know. It's your first ever podium. Did you use Vagisil before the race?
I will not disclose this information.
Oh well, never mind.
Right.
No, well done. That was a great race, and that was a superb pass you did on Beckham too. That was stunning.
Thank you. I can't believe it, to be honest, but there we go.
All right. Thank you, Chili. All right. Let's jump on to let's go with Kobu. Kobu, you're here. Hello, Kobu. It's good to see you back in top form now with the car that you're most comfortable with.
Yeah, it's home to be on the Nissan GTR, and I was hoping to maybe get a little better result. I shouldn't have let Lemmy get in front of me, because that would have kept me behind Beckham and Alex. That would have definitely helped me out a lot, because I had to sit behind Lemmy for quite a while before I got free from him.
Alright, well, another thing we didn't mention during the streams, and you mentioned last year, is that you seem to be more comfortable on the Japanese tracks like Fuji and Suzuka. Is Kyoto one of those tracks for you?
And honestly, Kyoto is probably one of all of the Kyoto tracks, even Seaside and Gardens, are actually all of my worst tracks. So this one in particular, I perform well on out of basically all of the tracks. So yeah, I think this one is just probably my best combo out of just kind of the Kyoto and the Seaside and Gardens.
I don't know, one other thing we brought up during the stream is we saw not only you, but some of your teammates like CRubennnn doing pretty well on this track in the GTR. It seems to be a very strong car here. But when we saw someone like Dance, our Season 1 champion, in the Mustang, a car that's similar to the GTR in a sense that it's a bit more understeery, it's got a lot of that straight line power, it's not known for its turning capability, was struggling. Do you happen to know possibly why that might be?
You know, honestly, it could be driver preference. The Mustang, in comparison to, say, the Aston or the GTR, I would put the Aston better at cornering, where the GTR is better at top end, and then the Mustang is kind of like average at all of them. But because it's average and it kind of has poor fuel consumption too, it kind of suffers just all around. But I think on other tracks it might perform better, so we might have to see maybe St. Croix or Nürburgring.
Alright, well, we'll look forward to those races, and congratulations today on your 5th place finish.
Thank you.
Alright, we have one more interview here. Mermaid Bubble, are you here? Hello, Mermaid Bubble? Oh, there we go, here we go. So Mermaid Bubble.
You guys hear me?
Oh, yeah, let me just fix some audio here. Alright, so Mermaid Bubble, you happen to qualify overall for the season into Tier B, but your time got you up into Tier A. So I'm gonna have to ask, how did it feel to know that maybe you bopped someone like PKMZ for that Tier A spot?
Well, honestly, it felt quite good actually. I messed up my qualifying today a little bit because I couldn't concentrate so well, and I was really surprised to actually be in Tier A. So I was really happy with that, and if I kicked PKMZ out, then I'm sorry, dude.
You were maybe a little bit more towards the rear end of the field up here in Tier A when we saw you up there quite strong with the MTC challenge. How do you feel the difference is the competition when racing in the Game Trophy Cup compared to these GR3 cars? Do you feel that maybe it's a bit stiffer, a bit more, just overall more competitive in comparison to what you experienced in the MTC?
Oh, it's definitely more fierce, and people are actually practicing a little bit more and getting their strategies more in order. So definitely the drivers are a lot more competitive here, in my perspective.
Well, with more of the season to go, do you feel like you can keep up this performance of kind of graduating to Tier A throughout the rest of the season?
Honestly, I think I'll be qualifying Lobby A quite often. I wouldn't say every time, because some tracks might not suit me, and I'm still new to the Mercedes. But I think I'll definitely be in Tier A quite a lot.
Alright, well, thank you for joining us, and congratulations on your finish today.
Thank you very much.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that will conclude our stream for today. That was our driver interviews. Thank you everyone for joining us. We're happy you joined us. Don't forget to give us a like and subscribe here. Follow us on Twitter. Don't forget, if you want to join in on the competition here at ARC, There is a link in the description below this video that you can click to feel free to join. We don't just run championship series, we have weekly events like the Friday night series that our very own Ford Terminator likes to run every Friday night. We usually run Thursday night series, we also run that. So if you ever want to join in, race against the guys you see here on stream, feel free to click that button. But that will conclude it for this stream. We thank you for joining us. I believe it's either next week. I believe next week is our next race, so come back for that one. We'll be right back here where we always are. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for joining us. And remember, keep racing.